What is up, 12 Nation? I am Saahil Kapoor. I'm here joined with Luke Yandle. Today we have a fun topic for you guys. All right, let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about how crucial are receiving backs in an NFL offense. Uh, Before we get into that, actually, make sure to follow all our social media platforms that will be in the description. If you cannot access that, it will be it's the Hawk Alerts on Twitter and Instagram, just like the channel. And then Luke's Instagram will also be in the description. So make sure to follow that. But let's get into this. So, Luke, teams like the Browns use Kareem Hunt in the pass game a lot, for example. And the same thing goes for players like JD McKissick, like Washington uses him in the pass game a lot. Is it important? How important is it to have a player like JD McKissick on your team?
Well, I think it's really important just because of the change of pace. If you have a running back like Antonio Gibson or Nick Chubb, that's kind of like a sole runner. They can both like get involved in the receiving game, but it's a huge change of pace when you have a like really good receiving back. JD McKissick hasn't always played running back in his career, so now that he's moved to running back, he's like been killing it as a receiving back. So I think it's really important to most teams just for like a change of pace kind of reason.
Yeah, that's great. Uh, so which NFL running back, in your opinion, has the best receiving capabilities?
Receiving capabilities. That's tough because there's a lot of like really strong candidates for that.
Mhm.
Um, I think Aaron Jones is a really good receiver.
Yeah,
Because you can
really
see
cool.
him catch the long ball out of the backfield, which is pretty crazy. I'd say Aaron Jones is definitely up there. McCaffrey, when healthy, he runs those nice little short routes that
Yeah.
always pick up some yardage. And the Panthers obviously need him because without McCaffrey, they're pretty much nothing. Um,
Kamara.
Yeah, I think McCaffrey and Jones are probably the top two I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah, those two are, very good.
Eckler,
Eckler,
Austin
yeah,
Eckler is very
obviously.
good. Yeah.
Austin Eckler, he's really good. Uh, so I don't know if you watch Seattle Seahawks a lot. I know you're a New York Jets fan, but if you have, do you think Seattle Seahawks need a receiving back? I mean, obviously, right now, Seahawks are using Alex Collins in the backfield, signed Adrian Peterson last week, have DJ Dallas, who's kind of a primary receiving back, but obviously he's not one of the best. Would you like think it would be a bad idea to, maybe fourth round draft pick, fifth round, to, go for a little receiving back type player?
Yeah, I would definitely like look for some upside in the receiving back in the draft because Chris Carson, like he'll be back next year, but they still kind of need that change of path or change of pace because Carson's more of a sole runner than a
Mm-hmm.
pass catcher. He can still catch the pass, but he's more of a sole runner.
Yeah,
And Alex Collins, he probably won't even be on the Seahawks next year.
yeah, that's
So
true.
it's I'd definitely take like an upside kind of draft pick to see if I can land someone with some, receiving potential.
True. Uh, which
Yeah.
team do you think best utilizes receiving backs?
Um, Probably the Panthers. The Panthers they've involved all their receivers and or all their running backs in the receiving game this year, and they've all like kind of polished as receivers because Chuba Hubbard coming into the league, he was a sole runner, and now he catches almost every ball that's thrown to him. So I just think the Panthers and their like game plan, they write up so many plays for running backs to get open that it's like perfect for someone with good receiving potential to play with.
Yeah. So this season, kind of seen a few players like Deebo Samuel. Obviously, right? He got a few. He's gone like 5+ carries in a few games this season. Obviously, he's injured, fortunately. But player like Deebo Samuel, do you think we'll be seeing more of that in the future?
It kind of depends on the player because there's not a lot of players like Deebo Samuel. In college, he was a kick returner, punt returner, wide receiver, and he played running back sometimes. So I think he's just a really creative player. I don't really know if we'll be seeing that with many other wide receivers because with his kind of speed, you can afford to do that, and he's also pretty strong to add on to that. So I think we could see more players coming into the NFL that could do that. But right now, most receivers are the same kind of player outside of Deebo and Tyreek Hill.
So everyone's kind of been shocked with this performance that Cordero Patterson has put up this season, right?
Yeah.
He's playing 4 positions, really, right? He's playing slot, wide out, running back, and kick returner. I don't know if he's playing punt returner, but then I also know they put him, third string on safety or something, reserve,
Safety.
right?
Yeah, safety.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. Obviously, we're not going to count the defense, but a player like that, what do you think a team, for example, like a really good team, let's say the Packers, if they had a player like that, how do you rank them in the NFL? Because obviously the Packers, you could say they're the number 1 team, but how much better are they than the number 2 if they get a player like Cordell Patterson?
Well, with Patterson's explosiveness, like Aaron Jones and Dillon can be explosive, but they're more like, big runners. So Patterson is just elusive and fast and, really, really smart on the field. Like he hits every single hole. He knows how to get open. So I think with someone like Patterson, it changes the pace, like I said earlier. So it opens up, more opportunities because they're gonna guess, like, hey, this is gonna be an Aaron Jones like screen pass. But next play they have Patterson and someone else can get open because they're focusing on the run. So I think just that change of pace for a playbook would be, really, really good for the Packers or another good team in the NFL.
Okay, and that quick question. So there's 3 guys, and they're all like they're really good athletes. They do it all. So in my mind, I have Travis Etienne Jr. Obviously, he hasn't played an NFL snap yet, but
Yeah.
we know he's going to be good, right? He can play. He plays wide receiver and running back at a tier 1 type level. Another guy is Deebo Samuel and then Cordell Patterson. If you're a GM for your team and you can get them, any of them, which one are you choosing? Obviously, Cordell Patterson is probably like the most experienced, but the thing is, he's also the oldest. Deebo Samuel, he's shown that he's great, probably the best receiver out of all of them, but he is young, and we've seen that he got injured this season. And then Travis Etienne, the young buck, but he hasn't played an NFL snap yet. So which one are you choosing as an NFL GM?
Well, I take Deebo if I had the money. Travis Etienne, he's unproven, so you could probably get him on a cheaper budget. But I'd
So
go
they're
with
all the
Deebo.
same. Like, let's say they're all 5 mil. No. Like, let's say
Oh,
they're all 15 mil a year.
Deebo, 100% Deebo.
Okay.
Just because, like Patterson, he's not as polished of a receiver as Deebo. Like he can still play receiver, but if you have, say, like Devontae Adams already, and then you put Deebo on top of that, that's just like a lethal team. So I would definitely take Deebo for that kind of price and the comparison between the players. Patterson is a lot older, so you'd have more years of prime Deebo. I think Patterson might get figured out in the next few years. It just kind of takes some getting used to for the defenses on players like that.
Especially since playing like a position like that is really it's stressful on the body for sure. You can get injured. Like Cordell Patterson got injured, Deebo Samuels, both of those guys have gone injured this season. So it's a hard position to play. I mean, doing it all right. Who is your favorite receiving back to watch?
Favorite to watch, when he's healthy is McCaffrey. If I get to watch him, 4 out of the 16 times he plays a year, it's fine. But he just changes the game completely. The Panthers have no offensive flow when McCaffrey's not playing. They don't even know what they're doing. So I think just having like him as a threat and also watching like the great plays he makes is so much fun to watch because you have like great players like Derrick Henry, but they're not like great in the receiving game and they're not like exciting in the receiving game. But McCaffrey, he can make like a 15-yard play out of a play that would definitely go for a loss.
That's true. I mean, that one play against Washington, right? He ran that little streak out of the backfield. Cam dotted him up, right? Final question of the day. You're a big Jets fan, right?
Yeah.
And I'd say, in my opinion, Ty Johnson is the primary receiving back. Tevin Coleman and Michael Carter good runners, but I'd say, Ty Johnson, would you agree he's like that receiving type back? So
Yeah, he's definitely the best.
yeah, so this season he's had 3 games where he's gone more than five or more receptions. Would you like to see, Mike LaFleur drop more plays for Ty Johnson, get him more, you know, included in this offense?
I don't know because we have 2 other great running backs. Not great, but serviceable and like with potential. So I think they need to polish Michael Carter a little bit more because he has that same receiving potential as Ty Johnson, but Ty Johnson's kind of just a filler there when we were running the ball. I think what LaFleur needs to do is write up more plays for Corey Davis because Corey Davis has either been injured or just doesn't get the ball from our quarterbacks, and he has unlimited potential as a receiver. So I think more plays for our receiving core would be more necessary than for Ty Johnson.
Yeah, a guy like Elijah Moore, young
Yes,
dude. Do you
do like
think
him.
you think I know he's a good receiver. Do you think he has like would you like to see him at a running back type role, maybe 5 or 6 carries a game? Would you like to see something like that?
Elijah Moore, yes, because he has like amazing speed and he's super elusive. He actually ran for a touchdown in a blowout game against the Patriots a while back, but when they lined him up at running back, he just like went past everybody. So I
Fast
think
guy.
he could be like a Deebo Samuel for our team, if we had a good offensive line and quarterback that went to Elijah
All
Moore.
right. Yeah, thank you very much, Luke. That concludes
Yeah.
this episode. Make sure to follow social media accounts. They'll be in the description. All right, bye guys.